Well, it's been a little bit of a rough start to this week. I think about the choices that we make and how they affect other people. I think about the selfishness we have and how it affects other people. I think about how we listen to things to reply, but we don't listen to things to understand. I think about why people always have to be the first one to be heard instead of the last one to be heard. A lot of things have been weighing on my mind lately and kind of getting me to the point where at times I want to shut down. At times I don't want to take on the load of helping so many people at one time, because I think I'm taking away from myself so much that it's slowing me down. I get frustrated, and I've turned to the point where I can't be the same. It's not that I can't, I choose not to be the same person that I apologize for that. Every time I get on here to make a video, I'm starting to become less patient, and I'm starting to just come right out straight with the answers and just stop sugarcoating for things for people, right up front. Like, how many times are you going to ask the same question over again about electrolytes? You've been doing this for 6 months and you're still asking the same question. If you haven't got it by now, you're not going to get it. If you're having to ask the same question over and over and over again and you're just not getting the answer, I don't know how much more to give. If you're constantly making excuses for the same things over and over and over again, maybe things just aren't going to change for you right now because your life's not ready for that to change. The other day, we had a guy that was being kind of disrespectful to me, but he created a post, and it was about making a choice. He had some acid reflux, and he decided that he wanted to drink some milk to keep the acid reflux response down, which in some cases that works, but a lot of times that I've tried it, it's made things worse. Acid reflux isn't simply the fact that it's too much acid. It can be lack of. So that's why a lot of people will consume pickle juice that has vinegar in it, or they will consume, apple cider vinegar or coconut vinegar with the mother, because those things can help close that flap so you don't get the acid reflux. So the flap, instead of hanging open, it will actually come up and close, and you don't get that acid reflux response. I've just been being a lot more honest and just right to the point, especially with people in the group. They don't take the initiative to go to the search box and just type in electrolytes and just start reading. Don't have somebody spoon feed something to you all the time. It shows lack of interest. It shows that you don't want to do your work and you just want somebody else to do it for you. To me, that's unacceptable. If you can take one of the key words that you're interested in, PCOS, and type it in the search box, it's going to pull up everything in that group that's been talked about with PCOS. It's going to benefit you greatly. Why not take the time to read the information that's being talked about and the different opinions from people that have posted, and your answer is probably going to be in there, and then some. You can get some really good information. People don't want to do that. People want you to spoon feed them everything, and that's the sad part. Or they've got so much going on in their life, they just don't want to search through articles because they've got kids and a job and everything else. Well, guess what? If you've got so much going on in your life that you can't take a few minutes to search something for your health, you're probably not going to succeed in your journey if everything that you have to be given is spoon-fed to you and you can't search anything on your own. It just won't happen. It's a systematic approach, and if you follow it correctly and you do the work, you're going to get a systematic response, and you're going to succeed. But I find people just don't care enough to succeed. In a lot of cases, not all cases, but in a lot of cases. I'm getting burnt out, and I'm trying to clear my head, trying to focus on studying more and doing more for me, and trying to put out better content here. And sometimes a lot of that I get pulled away from a lot of that because I'm up until 1 o'clock in the morning helping somebody from Australia talk about why their GERD is acting up, or why their arthritis is acting up, and how to engage that properly. And if I don't know the answers, I get on the phone right away and I start studying stuff up and looking at different approaches and trying to keep it as low carb as possible and trying to approach it from a holistic, organic standpoint. And that's more work that I have to do. It's just, I find that people are just not wanting to do the work themselves. A lot of it is the instant gratification stuff. People want the end all, be all. I need results right this second, right now. I want to lose weight right now. I've got to lose 15 pounds by this day. Well, if you've got to do that, the only way to do that is by fasting. Quit eating. Make yourself some electrolyte water, some sodium, some potassium water. Stay hydrated. And if you don't have any medical conditions that'll stop you from doing that, fast. Fasting is the only approach that's going to get you that instant result right now, right this second. The body has no other choice but to use its own fat for fuel if you're really interested in that instant gratification. It shocks me, some of the questions that are asked on, the keto groups, the carnivore groups, and people have been doing keto and carnivore for so long, but yet they still don't have the answers for it. They still are just like a brand new person. They still don't know how to meal plan properly, and they've been doing it for a year. They still don't understand what macros are. They still don't understand electrolyte balance. They still don't understand sodium potassium cross. These are basic fundamentals. They still don't understand, that consuming little amounts of sugary products here and there can creep up on you. They can have an effect on you. They don't understand why cutting cheese out can yield such powerful results if you have a dairy intolerance. They don't understand why being deficient in potassium and sodium can end up leading to hospital visits and irregular cellular function, irregular heartbeat, irregular metabolic, like your metabolic rate changing, how often you go to the bathroom, how you're processing food, how your sleep and stuff is going. Your body is an amazing tool. It can give you all of the answers to all that stuff if you just listen to it. And if you don't always look to somebody else for validation, because you're doing the best that you can, and mean that you're doing the best you can, and being the best version of yourself and doing the best that you can also means putting some effort into learning and getting that education to engage your health properly. Not always having to wonder what Rich says, or what Sarah says, or Mike says, or PhD Natural Me says. Worrying about yourself and what you think. You're gonna get the right answers from us in some shape or form, but it may not be the exact right answer for you. You're going to have to figure that out. People they're eager for that acceptance as well. I mean, this is something else that I'm noticing. They'd rather have that little heart pop up or that like button than they would facing their own demons. The other night, an admin messaged me and said, I don't know if we're going to accept this post. And I was reading through it, and it's one of the guys on the group. This is the guy I was speaking about earlier, was talking about how he chose to have a couple handfuls of popcorn because of that stomach acid, and he said it pacified him for the time being. But I got to thinking to myself, why didn't you just have a couple glasses of warm water? Or why don't you carry some lemon juice or some apple cider vinegar or something with you? Or, make it a must-have to have Tums around at some point. Like, it has to be there. You cannot forget that. Have some at work, have some in the car, have some at home. But the choice, instead of going to animal crackers or Ritz crackers or whatever it was to go for the popcorn. And honestly, I would have chose the Ritz crackers before I would have chose the popcorn. And that's just me. If I had to choose, that's what I would have chose, because almost all of our popcorn is genetically modified, and it has such a huge response to your body and your body's reaction to things. I can have a couple Ritz crackers right now, and yeah, I might feel a little off for a little bit, but I snap out of it. I have, several handfuls of popcorn. Oh man, I'm hurting for 2 or 3 days. Popcorn tears me up, and I've read a lot of people's testimonies about popcorn destroys them, and it's because of how modified it is, how force grown it is. The crops aren't rotated properly. There's so much missing from it. It's almost like pure carby sugar. I mean, I can't do it. It tears me up. I would have taken some salt and put it in some water and tried to subside that way, or say, hey, look, give me a second. I got to run down here to the liquor store real quick. I got to get some Tums, or called somebody to see if they can bring me some. I don't know. I know those options aren't always available, but it didn't seem like that was a very good choice. And then to create a whole entire story behind it and post it on the group, when he could have just said, look, hey, what do you guys do for heartburn? But no, he had to put the whole entire story about, this is what I was doing. I had heartburn, and I could have chose Ritz crackers and these crackers and those crackers, but I chose popcorn. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you even post any of that? Because if you sincerely didn't feel like you did anything wrong and you made the best choice out of the situation, why would you even tell the story? Why would you not just say, hey, what do you guys do for heartburn? It's almost like you're asking for acceptance. You're looking for somebody to say, your failure is okay. And that's what I find more than anything. Yes, it'll be okay. Yes, you can get back on the wagon, the horse, whatever the masses call it. I just call it, you slipped up. You got to get back at it. Yes, it'll be okay. But if every time you slipped up, somebody said it'll be okay, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, you still kept choosing to slip up and making no effort to change things, it won't be okay. It'll be okay is turning into your new fuel to keep putting yourself in a position to where it won't be okay. I don't like telling people it'll be okay, and I see so many people in so many keto groups saying, oh, it'll be okay, you'll be all right, get on the little horsey tomorrow, and you can do it. No, seriously, if you guys are doing that kind of stuff, you need to quit. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell you what to do, but you just got to stop that kind of stuff. You got to tell people, look, you screwed up, what can you do? You made a poor choice, just try to fix it next time. Don't pacify it. Don't make somebody feel good because they made a mistake. Just say, look, hey, let me show you how not to do that next time. Let me show you how to fix that next time. Not, oh, you'll be all right. You're all right. You're just going to be okay. So you can come back to me the next time, and I can tell you, you'll be okay. It'll be okay. And you can just keep coming back to me every single time, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to be just fine. You're going to get right back on that horse, and you're going to ride 10 feet, but you're going to backtrack 20, but it'll be okay. No, it won't. You got to get a hold of something inside you that says, I'm ready for change and change. You got to get a hold of something inside you that says, I'm so tired of this life. I got to stop making these excuses. I got to stop trying to put myself in situations where I know I'm going to be weak. I can't control that. And I got to prepare myself better for those situations. So if I do make that mistake, which I'm trying not to, but if I do make that mistake, I know that I've done everything that I possibly can to get myself out of that situation. People don't do that. They just don't do that. Just getting a little discouraged lately. The more people that come into the group, the bigger and bigger we get. We just hit 13,000 people. We've gained 1,000 members in 1 week. It seems like that's about what between 800 to 1,200 people a week is what we're getting in the group. I can log on, there's 50 people waiting, and then I'll turn around 2 or 3 hours later, and there's 40 more people sitting there waiting. And it just, some days it's, a couple hundred, and some days it's 50 people, 60 people, whatever. Probably not even. Probably it's always 100 to 200 people, 100 to 300 people, something like that. Our group is growing really, really, really fast. And I think the reason our group is growing so fast is because people know they can come there and they can talk openly. The one thing that I don't like people talking about excessively is all the cheating stuff. If you're going to do that crap, keep it to yourself. You don't got to make it everybody else's business. I don't want to see the fact that you went out and had 10 pounds of cake because your nephew was in town and you got... I don't care. I don't want to know about your cake excursion. I like the fact that I'm not making that choice, and I would like to stick with that. I would like to see content from people that are sticking to that as well. I mean, if you're a person that's a chronic cheater or chronic I fall off the wagon, and you're chronically looking for validation, well, you're chronically going to fail every single time, and you're chronically not going to lose weight, and you're chronically not going to heal. So think about it that way. Quit making excuses for doing the same thing over and over again, and you might get a better result. But if you don't get a different result and you're still continuing to make excuses, that is the definition of insanity. You are insane. I'm starting to get to the point where I really want a better quality of person to come out from inside. And I get it. People's lives get in the way. People's kids get in the way. The husbands get in the way, mistreating them. The same vice versa with the wives mistreating the husbands. I get it. Work sucks. There's life. We all go through that. But how come some people can deal with it perfectly fine and they manage, but others can't? It's because they simply haven't learned to yet. Or maybe they haven't dealt with enough stress in their life to know what it's like to really deal with heavy, heavy stress and still manage. It's doable. Your body is very strong. Your body is very adaptable. Your body can take quite a bit. You can learn to deal with situations in a more peaceful, more respectful manner without letting yourself completely fall apart because of a few bad, stressful situations. You can learn that. I've lost everything in my life 5 times now. No money in the bank, almost no clothes to wear, nowhere to live, and I started over every single time. I went through a bad divorce. She took $27,000, found out she wasn't a citizen, left home when I was 17. You learn to manage. You learn to deal with those stresses. Now they've taken that level and moved it up. Player number 4, you have reached level 2. Player number 4, you have reached level 8. It increases it. It keeps making you stronger and stronger and stronger the more you learn to deal with things. And it just happens to be a learning experience. I wish more people would take the time to learn themselves and learn how to deal with things rather than letting it just fluster them and make them just not be able to handle anything. Anyway, stress, right? I am home now, and I'm going to eat some grub and feed the horse and do all those kind of good things. I just wanted to get on here and talk to you guys a little bit because I'm stressed out, and I figure coming on here and talking to you is better than stress eating or anything else, or talking down to somebody or getting flustered with somebody. If I just come on here and let you guys talk to me and dump my heart out to you, then at least that way I get some kind of response with like-minded people or fellow people that I deal with on a daily basis. But I appreciate every one of you, and God bless you. And I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me as always. And God bless. Have a great evening.